I went out there and gave it my best every game. Just team player.
This is Luke Lachey, tight end out of Iowa. Luke began as a two-sport athlete at Grandview Heights High School out of Ohio, playing both football and basketball. During his football career as a tight end, Luke became a serviceable safety blanket, recording 34 receptions for 619 yards and 10 touchdowns, while also being a solid blocker in his junior season. Unfortunately, Luke suffered an ankle injury in his senior season that required surgery and ended his senior season. This, however, didn't affect his journey, as he was a four-star prospect coming out of high school, receiving 7 different offers from schools like Kentucky, Michigan State, Georgia Tech, and Iowa, committing to the University of Iowa. After redshirting his freshman year, Luke became a solid safety blanket once again, this time for Iowa. Being used mostly as a blocker, Luke only put up 133 yards on 8 receptions in his second season, but somewhat broke out in his third, recording 398 yards on 28 receptions and 4 touchdowns. Unfortunately, Luke would suffer another ankle injury, sidelining him for his 4th year, and after a solid 5th year, he would declare for the NFL draft. If the stats weren't telling, it's clear that Luke's time at Iowa was used mostly as a blocker. But boy, what a blocker he is. Being known for his strength and anchor while blocking, Luke isn't the person you want blocking you. Constantly working to cut off defenders on weak side runs and having the best hand placement to keep a block. When he isn't blocking, Luke has a great release off the snap, great hands on catches, and great footwork on his routes, surprising defenders with his speed on cuts. When needed, Luke can also plow through contact for extra yardage, helped by his long and tall frame. Pairing all this with his already great physical traits, being 6'6", 253 pounds, Luke could definitely find himself a nice home with an NFL team looking for a solid end-line blocker and safety blanket. Luke may be a great blocker, but unfortunately not to his left. What I mean is he struggles in his technique when it's flipped to the left side of the line, allowing him to get beat more easily. Luke can also struggle with his leverage, meaning if the stars don't align on a block, he can struggle to hold his own. He's also not the fastest, with questions about his speed and explosiveness on his routes being steadfast in a lot of scouts' minds. Speaking of routes, Luke's route tree is extremely limited, being used mostly as a seam splitter and simple crossing routes, meaning he isn't necessarily a threat to get open, especially against NFL safeties and linebackers. But possibly one of the biggest issues is his durability. Luke has been fighting ankle injuries his entire football career, which, pairing everything together, could scare some NFL teams away. Scouts are definitely mixed in their opinions on Luke Lachey. Some view him as a solid late day 2 pick, while others believe anywhere above round 6 is too high, while some even have him going undrafted. However, I'd like to remind people that tight ends don't need to be massively productive in college to be good in the NFL. A very good example would be future Hall of Famer Jason Witten, who never had over 500 yards in college and didn't reach the end zone once. With that being said, I feel safe in a 5th round selection for Luke. I believe that his blocking and his potential in his receiving game could entice an NFL team to take Luke and make him a vital part of their team.